This Friday on Uplug.
Society is set up that the men earn more. In a sense, the men control the resources.
It's another dimension of
Yes, transactional sex. Those who do it for societal approval, so they can dress nice and do the hair and have all of that. This becomes an opportunity to get out of what they've been raised in.
What's about sex?
You're enjoying all of the gifts and the money, but you are missing a healthy relationship. You know, they have to keep you on the side and you have to leave.
I don't want us to just come and unravel things and just create more problems. I'm like,
The joy of experiencing
yes.
your person.
I did it and I'm a doctor now, I'm a lawyer now. And
Yeah.
everything. Having sex for the sake of sex, you haven't really had sex.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is that?
Fitting societal needs, a power need. In any of those needs, these people need help.
Hello friends and family, welcome to Uplug. Welcome to the plug that keeps you plugged in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for choosing Uplug as the channel of your choice. Thank you for engaging our content. Thank you for commenting, and thank you for showing some love in general. Welcome to the new viewers. Welcome to our space. We hope that you just give us a chance and you will see if you would like it or not, but we hope you will like it. Welcome to our returning subscribers, and if you are here and you are new, please subscribe, turn on your post notification so that when we upload new content you will be notified. Beke libeke. So friends, if you do not know who this guy is, nagi opa wagara malagana gumnar nom sudo ga fas wa shadro ga tagas gingig den gamsul gamlo matuturu sa gigo lo tawatur moru mutul ko mari tswane buda komu. Yes. And I am excited to be right here. I'm not alone, guys. I'm with my friends here. Max, say hi to the Uplug.
Hi friends and family, welcome to Uplug. It is a beautiful day, it's festive time, and you can see that we are having a great and awesome time together. It's hot,
sure.
We are outdoors, and we hope that you are keeping safe and doing well. I am Mac. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I'm the child of the Most High God. I'm blessed and highly favored, a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a nation belonging to God, to declare the praises of Him who has called me out of darkness into His wonderful light. And yes, as you can see, that we have the man himself.
Oh yeah, sure.
I know, but
Reverend Opa, right?
I think the last time we had him, you were disappointed that he did not touch on what he specializes in.
Yeah, what is passionate?
But he had very good nuggets to share. Please do check it out if you haven't yet. But today we're going into it. But before that, for those who do not know him, if you could please introduce yourself to our friends and family.
Hi, I am me. Nice to meet you. Welcome. I'm Reverend Errol Carrim. I am at Nazarene Theological College. I am the operations manager, where my wife is the principal, and I just enjoy coming to South Africa and being here and being part of this community and this culture, and just enjoying a lovely day today. So I'm glad to be part of the crew today.
Yes.
Awesome. Yes.
Oh no, thank you for showing up, Rev.
Yes.
For those who do not know, Rev Errol is very passionate about relationships. I talk about people who are married, those who are not married, anything that has to do with a relationship, whether it's a relationship with one person to the other, husband to the wife, a person with God, a person with himself or themselves, whatever case may be. Rev Errol is your guy for that, and we are excited to have him again to come and share his wisdom. We will be talking. I've said in the last episode that the other time when we had him, he was talking about kloof, as Mac has already said, and today it's another dimension of of Kloof, yes. It's still there.
Kloof is multi-dimensional. What can I say? Yeah?
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Some of us don't know.
I know you will know. That's why we are here. We are here for
There you
that.
go.
You will get to know. We have already started a conversation. We've kind of did a groundwork. We spoke about transactional sex.
Yes.
Transactional kloof.
Yes.
And we want to kind of navigate that space. I think I've said on the previous episode that this is another elephant that is in the room but it's not addressed.
Yes.
Kind of. I don't know if there's no better approach to addressing it, or if it seemed to be something that is culturally acceptable, even though it's not necessarily endorsed doctrinally to say this is. But it's there. It's kind of expected, but it's not communicated.
Yes.
We see it. It has become normal. What is that even?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's transactional sex it's no simple cultural phenomena that we're talking about here, and it's not just in the African context. It happens around the world. Now, when we say transactional sex, we're talking about sex in exchange for money and gifts.
Yeah, sure.
Now we're not talking about prostitution here. That's a different conversation.
Yes, sure.
Because as a prostitute refer to the partner as a client.
Okay.
You know,
Okay,
and a prostitute
okay.
may not have the same person to get paid. You know, but the transactional sex, it's usually in the terms of a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
Okay.
You know, always in that context. They'll never say it's because the prostitute is more of a professional way of earning the money. But with transactional sex, it's about sex in exchange for gifts and money. Now, when I say it's not easy, because there'll be people here who probably listening to us, looking at us, or people that you know that have engaged in transactional sex and has made a successful life. So to start by saying it's a simple thing of saying sex in exchange for money and gifts is a real simplification. Because you have to deal with people that come out of and it happens with both ladies, you know, young girls and young guys as well, but more prevalent with the young ladies. And that is part of because of the way the society is set up. Society is set up that men earn more. Men are men if you more men are employed in the society than women, and so in a sense the men control the resources. So it kind of created this kind of dependence on the culture where for women who coming out of poverty and they're struggling, they've got to make it. You know, they got to have their family, and so this becomes an opportunity to get out of what they've been raised in. So it's approved of. It's nobody's going to stop it. You know, they won't ask where you get the money or how you getting the money, but the money's coming in. That's one. There are those who would in the universities. A lot of young ladies, you know, that's the way they're going to use it to pay their university bills and to get through. And then there's a third group of people that engage in transactional sex, those who do it for societal approval.
Okay.
So they can dress nice and do the hair and have all of the bling and all of the things that comes with looking nice. You know, so they'll have a boyfriend who provides for all of that. So all of these things comes into play when we think about it. So it's not just one straightforward thing and saying it is just this. There are different places in the society that people get involved in it for different reasons. So that's just kind of a understanding. It's not prostitution. It's a different totally different societal phenomena that we're dealing with here, and people legitimately do it as a means to change their life, and some just to fit in or the peer pressure. You know, so so that's just a little bit. So I hope that's a clear enough background as what we're talking about here.
Sure. It is, Rev. And thank you for that explanation. And for that we can already sense that it's really complicated.
Yes, very. And let me say this. Excuse me. Let me say this. It is such a challenge for the youths because, you know, in South Africa, the youth unemployment is about 70%.
Oh yeah, it's very high.
And when you think of that, you think most of that unemployed youth will be women.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sure.
So what end up happening? They want to live. They want to have airtime on their phone. They want to have data. They want to, they want to have a phone. They want so it'll just, and we have these. There's the argument that it's like a sugar daddy having an older man, who provides for a younger girl. But what we are finding now, the research is telling us, and I was reading some research here, that it is not exclusively a sugar daddy's arrangement. It is actually guys around the same age of these girls, or maybe 2 or 3 years older than them, that are becoming involved in the transactional sex because they're earning the money, they're getting the job, and the girl can't get the job. So she goes to, she gets to university, whatever, she gets education, and she still can't get a job. So what does she do? She has to live, and she wants to look like everybody else. So it's not just a simple thing about people using sex just to get gifts and money. It's a lot of economic challenges involved there as well.
No, it's hectic, and I really sympathize. I really sympathize with people who find themselves in those space. What are we saying? By what are we saying? I mean, in terms of the. I mean, you have articulated the kind of people who would, and I can imagine maybe there's even there's a wider range of why people are doing that.
Yes.
And I am thinking even from a context where, as you have said, there are people who does not necessarily have means and stuff, and that is the way of providing for themselves. But I'm also bringing another context of those who are within the space that. They're employed themselves, whether it's a male or female. They have all of these things, right? But they still involved in these things. So I'm trying to think.
There you go. Yes.
What is the common ground?
Right.
What is a deeper human cry? What is a deeper human need from there?
And I'm glad you raised that because yes, it happens where someone has all that they need, but they still engage in it. But this is about an issue of control now. You see, because she could control, you see, the guy, because now he is, he's bringing gifts and he's telling her she means all of this to him and everything else. And so she don't really need the gifts, she don't really need the money, but she can control him, you see. And you'll find that people who are, especially in the place where they have, on the both side of the spectrum, the person who don't have a lot may engage with more than one partners in transactional sex, and out of economic need. The person who has a lot will also engage in transactional sex with more than one partner, but not out of a need, not economically, but out of a need to control. So this is you're talking now about a psychological, emotional thing here, where they might have been brought up in a situation where they had everything they needed, but they were abused, they were controlled, whatever. So now they want to use their body in order to entice men where they can control them.
I think I have a question. It might be silly, but what's about sex that it why can't somebody use something else? Why does sex become what's involved in sexual intercourse?
That's a good question.
That allows men to freely release the money and bring out gifts, or for women to have this power. What I don't know what I'm asking, but I hope
you're asking a good question there. What makes sex so attractive? Is the question. Okay? Because God designed sex to make us attractive to each other. All right, that is part of God design of sex. So your desire, someone is the sexual desire is part of God's creation. It's not something that we came up with. It's something that has been misused now, for everything else. Okay, but so what makes it attractive is that natural desire for wanting that comes naturally. Okay, but I could use that in a lot of different ways, other than how God designed it. I should have that desire. So I will see a woman and she'll be sexually attractive, but I know the boundaries of where my sexual attraction ought to find expression. That's with my wife in the context of how God designed it. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't see a woman and think she's beautiful, or I wouldn't spend time with a woman and feel the connection taking place. But God has said to us, so what I'm saying is
something.
So what I'm saying here, God's design of sex was, by nature it will be an attractive thing, but he set boundaries in which we had to express it. But when we just give in to it, because we know, so he think he likes me, the way I look and everything else, and he has money. Well, yeah, but it's been misused. And then here's what I say to people: having sex for the sake of sex, you haven't really had sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that? just step in a bit, tap into that.
Because sex was designed to be had in the context of a mutually building relationship, as God designed it, where we are mutually fully involved, and sex is the really highest expression, where there is no fear, there is no guilt, there is no uncertainty, there is no mistrust, there's a vulnerability where you can completely trust yourself in that relationship and to the other person, and don't be afraid of anything.
Sure.
That is how God designed it to be. And the world has said to us it doesn't have all that meaning. So we see it on television, read it in
It's just
books,
an act.
everything. It's just an act.
It's just an act. And sometimes even parents just talk through their children to that and say, just make sure you have a condom, you have this, you have this, you have that.
Yes.
Because it's expected to. So I think to a certain extent that devalues, it takes away the actual meaning.
It has become a physical act that is really lacking all of the other pieces that God says comes to make sex sex.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just narrowed down to one. So I usually say transactional sex is usually one-dimensional. It's about the act of sex. It leaves out the other parts of it. So in transactional sex, you don't get to enjoy the fullness of the relationship because you can't be seen as this person, partner. They have to keep you on the side, and you have to leave. You have to leave your family and come and just be with this person. And so the sex is one-dimensional. So you're sitting there and you're enjoying all of the gifts and the money, but you are missing a healthy relationship because you're getting the economic needs met, but you as a person, you are not fulfilled because you are lacking. And some people, they use the gifts and the money to kind of fill the space. So if the gifts stop coming, I have to pick up another relationship.
Yeah.
See, because the emptiness comes back because that's what it's trying to fill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of deep stuff there, man. I don't know what are you guys making out of this. I personally think it's deep.
Yes.
Again, I still sympathize with people who are within that space. So,
Yes.
I don't want us to just come and unravel things and just create more problems.
No, certainly.
So if a person is in that space, what then should they do? What is the way forward? And also, while you respond to that, what is it that we can do as a Christian family, as the body of Christ also? What is it that we need to do? So it's kind of a two-dimensional. This involves the person themselves, and also it involves the rest of us as a support structure.
Okay. So in answer to the question, the first thing I say, I have to start without judgment. Don't judge the young lady or the young guy for being in this place, because you don't know what's going on, what led them to that. So once you start with judgment, you're already going to have your own judgment apply to it. What we need to do is begin with grace.
Okay.
We need to be trying to understand, and like I said, whether it's an economic need, whether it is a fitting societal need, or whether it's a power need, we don't know. And in any of those needs, these people need help.
Sure.
So if we start with judgment, we're going to shut them out. We're going to, and usually people who judge is usually because we're telling ourselves we're better than others. See, and that's not the way it is in the kingdom. In the kingdom, Christ died for everyone, so we all have value. So yes, someone is doing something that is not right, not healthy. They're giving their body away sexually, in order to make it or to control or whatever. We know that that's not healthy, and we haven't even talked about the risk in this transactional sex, the HIV and the pregnancy and all of the stuff that comes with that. Okay, how do we show up where we can offer some kind of a help to this person? Well, one, we just can't simply say you're wrong and don't understand what the needs are. And how can we provide for the need? If it's a person's economic need. Can we help?
Yeah.
Can we make a difference? Can we show them that we really care about them? You know, that you don't have to do this, that we're gonna be able to try to help you. So we got to step up.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like saying abortion is wrong, right? But we don't want to adopt, or we don't want to create a home where babies could be raised. To say it's wrong and not providing a means of taking care of, because people will get pregnant. You can't stop that. Okay, so the same thing with this. People engage in it because for a number of reasons, and we need to be able to show up where those reasons are and say, okay, how can we help with this problem to help you to not have to do this? You know, and it's bigger, you know, than simply saying, you know, because it might be
It's bigger than just saying stop doing it.
stop doing it. Okay, maybe somebody, she probably is doing this because her mother is sick and her mother needs money to buy medication and then be in the hospital, and so she is trying to help the family out. Okay, well then we need to figure out, can we help the family? So she doesn't have, and not only that, begin to teach our young people about their self-worth. You know, because you engage in the transactional sex and you get pregnant, it changes your future right there.
Yes.
You got to raise a child now. You can't finish, you know, you can't finish high school, you can't go to university, all the things you're planning. You have to raise a child. Okay, and then in the process of trying to raise this child, because this person who you were engaged in transactional sex has moved on, you get involved with somebody else. Okay, and now you get involved with the other person. Now you get HIV. So the risks in involving in transactional sex are very high as well. So we need to show up without judgment and start to engage our young people. Even start to teach them before they get involved in this. You know, talking to the 10, 11-year-old, 12-year-old about value and need, and be trying to help them so they don't, because the culture approves of it, and we need to help our people to see they don't have to do it. And I know there are people who are going to say, well, I did it and I'm a doctor now, I'm a lawyer now, and everything else. That's true.
Sure.
But think of how many people has to pay the price for the one person to say, I succeeded.
Sure.
You know, think of how many unwanted pregnancy, how many HIV young girls walking around now, how many people, and we haven't spoken yet about the negative side of the physical abuse that comes when you become his possession, and he's been paying you giving all this money and gifts now, and he wants to, he have access to your phone because he's paying for the phone.
Yes.
He's buying the airtime.
Yes.
He see a message in there that looks something like, who is this now? Slaps you upside the face because you know who this is.
Yeah, sure.
And your life becomes terrified.
I like where you're going with that, because I mean, like you said, we could justify it and say things are going well, but it does not only implicate you, but many others as
other
well.
people,
Yes.
So it's for the betterment of not only yourself, but even others, because you also spoke on the self-worth aspect of it. Because some may you can really give them or meet their economic needs, but does not necessarily mean that it will cut the ties with with this person. They will still continue. So it's that self-worth that God has designed you beautifully and wonderfully and fearfully.
Yes, sure.
And with your body you need to honor him, and honoring him does not take away from the joy of experiencing your personhood,
Right.
but and that. So I love that aspect to it.
And so let me just say this in terms of God and honoring with your body. In the Old Testament, it started with a tabernacle, and then there was a temple, but the temple was destroyed.
Sure.
So where's God abiding now?
Yeah, sure.
God is a spirit. And what does Paul says?
We are the temple.
Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So God is not somewhere out there. God is actually in here. So when I dishonor my body, I am dishonoring God. Because God has, through Jesus Christ, has made his presence now in us. So we don't go to church to meet God. We don't go read our Bible to meet God.
Yes.
We are representing God because he is in us. So when we talk about how God fits into the picture, we have to think that God is in us, God is with us, and what we do either honors or dishonors God. And I know for people who engage in this, the God conversation doesn't sound all that relevant because they're trying to survive. Right? But as we teach them their worth and their value, we help them to see that you are important. You don't have to give yourself up sexually so you can get by.
Yes.
You are worth more than that. You may not get by as quickly as you would like to,
Yes.
but I'll tell you, when you get through, you'll be better off
Yeah.
than had you engage in the transactional sex so you can get it through quickly.
Yeah, sure. So I thank you for that and the input also that you have made, Meg. I'm thinking if you happen to be watching this episode and you are along those people that have been described, or others, you know your space very better, and you probably could articulate it better than all of us could. Just reach out and try to find help.
Yep.
It does not have to remain that way. The fact that you find yourself where you are at and in this transactional sex, or maybe you didn't even define it, it was just this relationship, and you find yourself there, reach out for help. It does not have to remain that way. But also we would like to learn from your experience. What has your experience been? What is your input on the topic? What is it? What do you think? Are we missing anything? If we are missing something, we are committed to come back and discuss it. Just put it on the comment or engage us. We are more than willing to come back again and engage it. So thank you very much, friends, for tuning in. I want to give Rev Errol, if you have last remarks before we kind of saying goodbye to you pluggers and kind of wrap off this topic.
Okay, so like I said at the opening, this is no simple societal challenge we have. I can hear all of the voices about the need and everything else, but all I like to say to you is that you're worth more than giving yourself sexually so you can get by, and finding that value and that worth and getting the help you need, and when you get involved sexually, it'll be a relationship that honors you, that take care of you, and you're not because of the sex. Because like I said, transactional sex is one-dimensional. It's about the sex. You are much more than the sex.
Yeah, sure.
And so that's what you want to strive to become.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Just want to say amen right now.
Yeah.
So preach it, Pastor.
Preach it, Rev. Thank you, friends, for tuning in, for joining us. We would love to hear from you. So, friends, remain connected, remain plugged. From the three of us.
Ciao.
Ciao.
This production was brought to you by Imago Dei Media.